Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's preview as the Dragons travel down to Durban on the back of a very large loss against the Bulls, try and take on a Sharks side which last weekend came undone against Edinburgh, and quite a lot of criticism going towards the Sharks in terms of having all the players, having the squad, having everything they need at their disposal, and yet not quite being able to bring the sort of performances that people have been expecting of a squad of that quality over the past few weeks. Despite having reasonable results, people are very worried about sort of the brand of rugby, the type of rugby, and not being able to sort of get the job done when it really matters most. So before we look at the two sides, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. We are back in full force. We'll be having quite a few watch-alongs over the weekend, lots of reviews. I'm going to be having sort of bringing our new multi-sport offering. We're going to be doing football previews, football reviews, cricket review as well of the test match between South Africa and Bangladesh. So lots of content to come your way. Now, in terms of this clash, quite a number of changes for both sides. We'll start with the Sharks side, who have made quite a few changes to their pack, including dropping Siya Kolisi down to the bench, as well as Siya Kolisi in a 6-2 split from Sean Everett and his men. Probably quite a good idea, actually, if you look at the Dragon side, with a couple of Welsh internationals returning into the 23. So if we look at the starting line for the Sharks, they will be captained by Thomas du Toit in the usual sort of all-Springbok front row of Oxenchair, Bongi Manambi, and Thomas du Toit. In the second row, it will be Leroux Roots and Gebrand Grobler, so quite a bulky second row. Gebrand Grobler and Leroux Roots bring a lot of physicality to the side. They bring a lot of weight, especially the likes of Leroux Roots, who's come a long way in the last 18 months. And it's a bit of a rejigged loose trio in the likes of James Venter, Jean-Andre Labuskakny, and then Pepsi Buthelezi. So you'll look to have the impact of Siya Kolisi and Siko Mozenoche later on. Jaden Hendrickson partners Cohen Bosch, who I think is quite lucky to be retained in the 15. Even the 22, the 23, I think is quite lucky, because if we're being very honest, probably one of the worst games of his career last weekend. And it's an interesting sort of situation, because when you've got a player who is struggling and is out of form and, lacking with confidence, then sometimes if you drop them, that can sometimes be the end. That can be how do they come back from that? They were struggling, they haven't been coping very well, they get dropped, and that's sort of their confidence gone. So Sean Everett has backed him. He's come out and said, no, the criticism is over-exaggerated, and he's backed him to start again. Which is two things. First of all, sometimes you can get a reward. Sometimes you need a backup player. But at the same time, how many times can a player underperform before, you do drop and you do say, listen, you're not playing well enough. You don't deserve to be starting. And a lot of Sharks fans very much of the opinion that Boeta Chamberlain should be starting ahead of Cohen Bosch. And the rest of the backline, we've got Makazole Pimpy, Werner Kok as the two wings. Jeremy Ward is partnering Ben Tapuai and Anthony Fulmick at full back. No Spurn Corsi, no Apele Fassi. They're both on their... Well, Apele Fassi has been ruled out for quite a few weeks, apparently, but Spurn Corsi, in theory, is going to start training with the side on Monday and will hopefully be in line for a selection soon. Off the bench of the Sharks, Kieran van Vuuren into Tukum Kunu, Kutan Kunu, Reniel Hugo, Siko Mozenoche, Siya Kolisi, Grant Williams, and Boeta Chamberlain. It's quite a nice bench, actually. I think that they've got quite a nice sort of combination of experience, youth, and energy coming off the bench. It's quite a mobile... Reniel Hugo is probably a bit more mobile than the likes of Leroux. Siko Mozenoche, Siya Kolisi, very good in the loose. Grant Williams, having to inject a lot of pace into the game, and Boeta Chamberlain also somebody who's sort of I think probably a bit more of attacking nature than Cohen Bosch is, given Cohen Bosch's current form. But what I will say is that the Sharks side, missing quite a few players, and all of a sudden are not looking as brilliant of a 15 that we've sort of come to expect. With Lakanya Ambi on sabbatical, a couple of injuries, stuff like that, you suddenly look at that backline, you think it's a good backline, but isn't anything that special? Werner Kok, Anthony Fulmick have sort of sometimes been up and down. Jeremy Ward, for me, is still someone who hasn't really settled into this level and really found that consistency you'd like to see. Ben Tapuai, obviously in Australian international, and Makazole Pimpy, but Cohen Bosch, who's struggling a bit, Jaden Hendrickson starting to get back to his best. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Shark side does perform. And this is the Dragon side that they are up against. Now, first of all, 3 Welsh internationals are back into the 23, as Ross Moriarty, Will Rowlands, and Leon Brown all return in the pack. So it is a much better Dragon side than that took on the Bulls a week ago. So we look at the side, Greg Bateman, Elliot D, and Leon Brown will pack it up front. Greg Bateman getting his first opportunity in South Africa. The second row is boosted, but Jay Davies is partnered by Will Rowlands. I mean, there are 9 changes to the side, so that's what I'm saying. It is a very different side to the one that got pummeled in Loftus a week ago. So the loose trio is Harry Kiddy, who will captain the side, Ben Fry and Ross Moriarty. Roger Williams partners Josh Lewis, who gets an opportunity at fly half. Then Jordan Oluwafele gets an opportunity as well. In the wing there, Jared Ross on the other wing. The two centers are Jack Dixon, Adam Warren, and then Owen Davies at full back. Off the bench, Taylor Davies, Aki Sioli, Masaka Doge, Hugh Taylor, then Tane Bashan, the Welsh international, Lewis Jones, Will Reed, and Jordan Williams. So I suppose it's a bit of a combination for Wales and for Dragons for bringing their Welsh internationals back, but also trying to give a couple of other squad players an opportunity. You know, I think after the issue they had last weekend where they were severely beaten by the Bulls, they have made quite a few opportunity changes to sit there and say, take your opportunity. You know, we're playing against a Sharks side who will want to respond, but also under quite a lot of pressure. So let's see if you guys can stand up and be counted. Ross Moriarty, Tane Basham are two fantastic players to watch. Will Rowlands has really been growing in stature in the last couple of months. So keep an eye out on those international, because that's sort of the whole thing, isn't it? When you watch these games, you expect your internationals to stand up and be counted. And same for the sort of the Sharks, you know, their big players need to start standing up. So it should be an interesting game. It is at kickoff at 7 o'clock tonight in Durban. Judging on the cricket at the moment, the weather looks should be quite nice, and hopefully far better conditions than we saw last week, where it was pretty much torrential rainfall. Let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.